EAM experts. In this podcast, we will discuss the latest EAM trends and critical issues in maintenance and asset performance. Together with our expert guest, we will guide you on how to transform your maintenance management into strategic competitive advantages. Join us on live episodes or listen to past broadcasts on any of our platforms. visualk.com, LinkedIn, YouTube, Deezer, Apple Music, and Spotify. Subscribe and enjoy. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of EAM Experts. My name is Ernesto Perez. I'll be working with different experts in the industry, talking about different subjects every chapter. Today with us, we have Angel Torres and Renee Nazario. They're the first experts we're going to present, and they basically know everything that there is about EAM, and they're gonna talk about it. So Renee, Angel, thanks for joining us. So Renee, I see you have a toolbox behind you. Is that all yours?
Yeah, so we use these tools to fix all the bikes and anything that needs some stuff to be done here in the neighborhood. So this is my personal garage. But yeah, I mean I love tinkering with stuff, especially bikes and mountain bikes, which is my passion, and I love to be able to go out there and hit the mountains here in Georgia or wherever it is. And I always love it and have a lot of fun. And I think it's also very contagious. You can ask Angel.
Well, I've been following on your footsteps or your what is it?
Tie
Wheel
track. Tie track.
Tri tracks. And there's a lot of opportunity in going out, enjoying the outdoors. Trying to keep some sanity. Actually, getting up from our desk and our chairs and actually do some exercise. So yeah, I'm having a blast.
And you guys, you're pro athletes, so you don't fall from your bikes, right?
No, it hasn't happened yet.
Oh, nice, awesome. So
It will happen. It will happen.
It will happen. Yeah.
There are two
hopefully,
types of riders. There's the riders that have fallen and the ones that haven't yet fallen.
yeah, yet to fall, right?
Yet to fall.
So I'm talking right now with two experts, and I want to know what are we going to be talking about in this podcast? It's called EAM Experts. What's EAM? Why are we the experts? What should we expect from that?
Well, thanks, Ernesto. I mean, first of all, I'm very excited to be here. So thanks for everybody that's joining. Our idea since we started working with EAM somewhere around 2007, it's been that we can share the knowledge, right? Share the expertise, and our idea here is to bring stories, right, of how people are using the software. What are the trends? And we want to have different, guests coming to the show and be able to talk about their experiences. There's a lot of expertise and tips and tricks and things that are going to be valuable to all the users, and also things coming from Infor, right, the mothership, which tells us where the software is and the technology. And I think in our experience in our many years doing this, we gain a lot. And the idea is to bring that to a forum where people can listen to it, enjoy it, and add some more. And what are your thoughts, Angel?
Well, we've been doing this since 2007, right? And basically that's right after Infor acquired DataStream back in the days.
I remember.
And our team, which is comprised of this great group of people, they spent a significant amount of time just learning EAM, tinkering with it, getting to know the functionality, the technology behind it, but also then there's the street smarts, right? We've been to factories, we've been to power plants, we've been to, obviously everybody has been to a building. So there is a lot of knowledge, accumulated knowledge. Maybe if we add up all the years and all the people in the room that have been working with the AM, there's a lot there. And obviously when we go into a customer, there is that process of sharing knowledge, right? They talk to us about their industry. They share with us their concerns, their needs, and then we come in and we say, hey, here's what the software can do, right? And that kind of opens up the conversation. There are some industries that we have had a lot of experience. So typically, when we go in, we don't necessarily have to ask that much because we've been there a million times before.
Mhm.
But we're always on the lookout for what's next, right? Um, you can say that EAM, which stands for Enterprise Asset Management, right, has been evolving. And from there, we go into like more of the pure asset management. Now we're walking into asset performance management, things like artificial intelligence. So it's a constantly evolving field, and this is the right forum to share what we've learned and what some of our customers have learned, and also what ideas are coming up, right? And then have a chance to discuss and see what's real, what's not, what's working, what's not, and probably give you a couple of ideas here and there, so when you're listening, you can just get those juices flowing. So that's kind of what we're trying to do here.
Right. And when you're looking for enterprise asset management, you necessarily don't know all the capacities it has. You probably are looking for a maintenance software, right? But then you learn how far you can get with it, right? So, and you mentioned a couple of those. So let's talk about who's able to, or who should be listening to us, right? Who does the EAM Expert podcast impact?
So
Yeah, sorry, if I may. Obviously, the first thing that comes to mind is the maintenance manager, right? These are the people in the trenches, keeping things afloat, keeping things working. So definitely, they should be on the front row. But then you start looking around the enterprise, and what you see is people from finance who are looking at the economic impacts of downtime. People from inventory management that are trying to keep those spare parts, the right amounts, the right spares at the right time, so that the machine can keep moving, right? And then lately we have been seeing a lot more of reliability engineers coming to some of our customers. So definitely that's a group that should be very interested in what we have to say, and obviously we are very interested in hearing them.
yeah, and I think what's important also, Ernesto, is that as we go through and the experience that we have, so we, as you know, and you're well aware of, we have a very strong hold in power generation, a lot of customers. So the idea is also to be able to bring that,
Yep.
to the forefront, being able to bring that experience. We also have a lot of customers in manufacturing. We have customers also, in different regions of the world. They speak different languages. So the ability to be able to talk and share that experience. Every time we have an interaction, every time we have a project, we run into different situations, right? Different problems that need to be solved. And the idea is to be able to really take that to the next level and share that experience. For example, Angel was talking about very specific things. Sometimes they ask about, failure codes, or sometimes they're talking about, hey, what's my best way to do, operator checklist. There are different subjects that sometimes, even though they're important, they're not necessarily addressed, or people are not really aware. So I guess answering your question, who is this aimed for? I think anybody that's curious, right? How can I do this better? Even though, they might be involved one of the roles Angel mentioned, but they could also be, just curious about it. I mean, we are trying to share that knowledge in a format that is easy to understand. And by the way, guys, one of the things that we want to be able to do, it's really use our social media channels, which I think you can help me with that. It's Twitter, and we're going to have LinkedIn, but also suggest if you have topics of interest or things that you want to understand a little bit more, or you want to share. For example, hey guys, I did this. For example, we're talking to a customer that was doing a way that they managed the plant shutdown with the project module of EAM, and they wanted to be able to do that. So since we're working with Info EAM and all the things that it can bring to the front, to the table. The idea is to share that, and also it's open, right? So it's a two-way communication. We're going to be listening and trying to take that into account for our next shows.
All right. You mentioned Infor, and I know you guys work in Visual K, right? I do too. So let's talk a little bit more about that. Visual K, Infor, what's all that? I know EAM stands for Enterprise Asset Management, but who's who, right? So, Renee, you want to take this one?
Yep, sure. So when we started Visual K, which was a long while ago, over 20 years ago, we started with this vision of being able to serve customers. We started with ERP in the Central American region, and then
you can say it in the 90s.
In the 90s, right? Some of you were not even born, but that's fine. It's all good. When we started doing that, Windows type of stuff. Not really. That was kind of the Y2K and all that fun stuff coming through. And as that was going, and happening, we started serving the market and obviously identify the need for really, either an EAM at that time was more CMMS, right? And the idea was to be able to understand, how can we serve that market with our tools and technologies to basically, make the lives of our customers better, right? Be able to have them be more efficient and operate better. So that's been the focus. And then we grew, right? Angel came into the fold, EAM came into the fold, and then we started growing. EAM has grown a lot. It's been basically, like Angel said, EAM was an acquisition that Infor made of DataStream. I think it was around 2006, right, Angel? Somewhere out there.
Yep.
And then we got involved in 2007, and we started migrating some of the MP2 customers initially. That's where we started to get our teeth into the first EAM implementations, and then it grew from there. You want to take it from there, Angel?
Well, probably the one thing that you haven't mentioned is that Infor has this really good trajectory over the years, and what we're seeing is that it's meant to accelerate. Infor was recently acquired by Koch Industries, and actually Infor falls within the umbrella of the Advanced Technologies Group within Koch, and they're actually really pushing the envelope, right? We're further accelerating the adoption of artificial intelligence. They have invested in a company out of Israel called Percepto, and what they have are autonomous drones. So there are many moving pieces that are kind of converging and coming together. And that's precisely the kind of conversation that we want to have, right? Everybody can create a work order. That's a given. But I mean, how do you go from there? When you look at the typical operation and the maintenance group within most of our customers, they're typically a small bunch, right? With a whole bunch of responsibility. So their day-to-day is not easy because they have all that pressure to keep things running. And then on top of that, they have to manage, these systems, all these work orders, blah, blah, blah. But what we're aiming for is to make their lives simpler, right? So, for example, Infor just released a little something called the Super Advanced Scheduler. And it brings all these different tools just to make people's lives a little bit simpler. So that's I think the advantage that we have in working with Infor. And the other thing is that through the years we have developed a very close relationship with Infor, and we have we know people from top to bottom, right? And whenever there is something that either we need to fix or we need to find out, we typically have the right phone number to do so. So our relationship with Infor has been really, really successful.
It's not what you know, it's who you know, right?
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
right.
Having the number of the person who knows.
Right. And I think
Right. Yeah. Back in the day, I was. Go ahead.
So from that view, Ernesto and Angel, just to add a little bit more of it, I mean, we've seen Infor grow, right? And we've seen all the stages, but at this point, I think it's where the relationship really is, at its best. Right now, with the, like Angel said, with the Koch Industries acquisition, the accelerator, the turbo, and the nitro is on. They're really flying, right? So I think it's a good time because a lot of our customers are always looking forward. Now with all the digital transformation and IoT, and AI and anything that's going out there, they have big questions, right? They want to understand, how do I apply this to my business and make it better, right? So that's what we're trying to
Right.
do. And I think Infor is for us is a great partner, because we are really, being able to tag into those sources, right? Those folks that really know what's going on and they have those ideas. And then they're a great partner, because they really look at our customers as ways and projects that they want to make profitable. They want to make their customers successful. So I mean, it's a great synergy and energy that we have with them for to be able to bring that value to our customers.
Yeah. So what always blows my mind is you like Angel said, you always can do a work order, everyone can perform preventive maintenance, everyone can do a corrective. But then it goes to the next level, reliability. We're talking about asset management, we're talking about asset health, we're talking about asset performance, we're talking about getting into the AI, machine learning, all that. So it's not only on this first level of doing your maintenance at the right time, but it's also getting to that next level. So what can we expect when we talk about this in the next couple of years? So when we are talking about new technologies, I know you said the drone also. So what can we expect from both Visual K and Infor in the coming years?
Oh, great question. Rene, you want to get started on that, or should I just shoot?
Just go for it.
All right. So, for example, 2 years from now, right, we walk into a new customer or a prospect. One of the first questions that we're going to get is whether our software or our tool has some kind of artificial intelligence built into it, right? It will become the norm. I think what will happen is that there, because some of the tools that we're looking at, they've been there for a while. Obviously, they have been evolving and getting better and getting more functionality. But that's not really the problem. I think it goes back to capacity. You have these folks, right? They're day in, day out, just cranking at the machine. So I think for us, the challenge really is in kind of leapfrogging some of the day-to-day activities and automating wherever we can. Instead of asking people to do more, we certainly want them to do less and do more of the value-added activities, right? That's really where things are going to change. If we try to push new functionality, new activities, I don't think that they have the capacity to take them on, right? So we are, I would say, in a moment of transition between giving them options, facilitating some of those processes so that they can free up their time to do more of the new stuff. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, and I will add to that, Angel, that as we look at the problems that we're trying to solve, and like you're saying, there's not a problem right now of data. That's really not the issue. Do I have the right data? Right now, there's an overabundance of data, so you have to be able to interpret that data, put intelligence on it. But I think on what we're going to see as we go, further into the future, what we're going to see is how we simplify that display of the data and the data decision process, right? How we make that easier, because I mean, obviously, you cannot have 20 data scientists looking at the data every day, right? So how we automate that, we make it smarter, but also how do we display it in a manner that they're able to make the decisions easier, faster, and then be able to determine what's going on, so they can really, like Angel said, I mean, they need to have a better use of their time and be more efficient.
Right. And what I always tell our customers is you can always grow with the tool. So you can start with the basics, do maintenance, do preventive, and gather that data, and then grow and do your rounds, do bigger stuff that you probably wouldn't be able to do from the get-go. But then you go ahead and grow to that, and you always can grow with Infor EAM. So that's something that's awesome with the tool. So in terms of what the specific podcast is, what should we expect in the next chapters?
All right. So what we want to do is to bring some of these topics and have these kind of conversations And we're gonna try to keep it as a conversation rather than just a presentation, right? So
Hmm.
we would be bringing in consultants from our team that can, dig deeper into some of these areas. They're actually the people that know. They're day in day out in the fields, taking care of our customers, and they have, like firsthand knowledge of what's going on, right? And then obviously bringing some of our customers to have these kind of conversations. So topics I think will range from like basic work management all the way through artificial intelligence and hopefully everything in between. So we already have identified a couple of topics, but what I would like is for our listeners, our viewers, to communicate. Let us know what they're interested in. They obviously have point of views. They have different experiences. Sometimes you feel like you have to find all the answers when probably what you need is to find all the questions, and maybe this is the forum for them to come and ask, right? And maybe we'll have somebody from Chile or somebody from Canada come in and say, well, you know what, we do it this way, and boom, light bulbs goes on,
Yeah.
right?
Right. Anything you want to add, Renee?
Yeah, I think we want to stay relevant to the things that are relevant to our customers, to their problems. And like Angel said, we can bring customers also. We can bring, subject area experts. We have some folks that are really smart and been doing a lot of things in reliability. We want to make sure that we bring them to this podcast. And also, some experts from Info, right? There's a lot of, forward thinking folks at Info right now that are, are asking the questions of, we're going to have the problems in the next 5 to 10 years. So it'd be good also to know, where is that headed? How's the technology best applied? Obviously, there's some, leading edge and then some bleeding edge. So we want to make sure that we covered some of both and make sure that, the customer is also, enjoying it and in a format that is easy to digest.
Please
Right.
raise your hand if you want us to bring Kevin Price to this podcast.
So, thank you both, Angel and Renee, for joining us today. I think it's been a very informative podcast. Anyone listening, we are going to be presenting different chapters in the upcoming months. You can find us in Visual K. We have a blog section, so we don't only have the podcast, but we also have webinars. We have blog articles, so we have a lot of information there that you can see and learn more about us. We also have the LinkedIn page. We have YouTube channel, Spotify. You can find us on Apple Music and Deezer as well. So anything else you want to add?
Well, for me, thank you for the forum, for the opportunity. Let us have a conversation.
Yeah. Thanks for joining, guys. We
Perfect.
appreciate it. All the feedback is welcome. Thanks for spending some time with us and glad to continue moving forward.
All right. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Have a good
Thank
day.
you, Ernesto. Thank you. Bye.